All right, I think we're up and live. Good evening, everyone.
What's going on, guys?
How you gentlemen doing this evening?
Doing well. How are y'all?
Doing great, doing great. A little busy, a little busy, but man, we're closing on the weekend quick. Sure.
It comes so fast.
It does, man, every time. I was like telling somebody the other day, I felt like yesterday was just Christmas, dude, and here we are, middle of April.
It goes, and the way we stacked our schedule this year, it's basically tournament after tournament after tournament after tournament.
Dude,
at least for the first 5.
Yeah, and how crazy was the weather we've been having, man, having to make all these changes to the openers, and man, it never.
Mother Nature has not been kind for the first half of for the first part of the year, that's for sure.
I feel like that's definitely a regional thing that we've got to become accustomed to.
Yeah, we've been battling eclipses, earthquakes,
cicadas,
torrential pour, rain events. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
I just watched the cicada thing last night. They're talking about the most cicadas, for the Maryland, Virginia region in 200 years. That's a crazy amount of cicadas.
Yeah, I was reading up on it. Supposedly there's 2 broods or whatever they call them that are going to be like out at the same time, which is making it even
13 year and a 17 year, I guess, and they're going to be coming out at the same time.
Is that going to affect the bite?
I don't know that it will here, but I know that up on the rivers and some places where the smallmouth eat a lot of bugs, it'll make a difference.
I heard through a birdie that there's 7 tournaments going on this weekend, at least on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. How do you guys feel about that?
It's all the time.
Boat tournaments?
It's all the time. It's every, especially on the Upper Bay and on the Potomac, that there's not a weekend where you're not having 2 or 3 huge boat tournaments that are going out. It's something that as kayakers we deal with all the time, and I'm glad you brought it up because make sure that you guys have your 360 lights. That's very important. Make sure that you're seeing out there because those guys, they like to run and gun. They're not catching them. They're up and moving. So just keep a lookout for them. Stay out of the boat lanes. Just keep your head on a swivel this weekend.
Yeah. 100%.
Good advice.
Who do we got on here? What's up, Frank? How you doing, bro? Brandon, Kenny G, Jake. How you gentlemen doing this evening? Frank Bogdan, Chris, Brandon Howe. Got a lot of folks in the house tonight. 42 watching right now. It's probably going to go up.
Oh, for sure.
I'm glad we were able to get this thing up on YouTube too. That definitely helps the folks, that may not be on social media. They can still chime in and get to watch it.
For sure, yeah. I know we have a few anglers that have messaged me and said that they're not on social media. We try to keep our website updated pretty good with what's going on. TourneyX does it. I make sure that the TourneyX website stays up pretty good. So
yeah, that's good stuff. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead here and bring up some slides to help keep us on track. It's something we started this year, and I think it worked out pretty well. And again, obviously, if you guys, I'll kind of talk a little bit and I guess we'll figure out how we we'll kind of play it by ear and just kind of, chime in. If your club does something a little bit different, make sure let me know or let everybody know. And we'll just, like I said, we'll wing it and see how it goes. But I think it'll be pretty straightforward. I think most of us are on the same page. Some things are going to differ a little bit between the clubs, but for the most part, I think the anglers are going to have a much easier time with all of us being synced up for the most part, rather than having to worry about a whole bunch of differences, right? I think we definitely have more commonalities than we do differences. And that's the beautiful thing about having so many awesome, clubs in the area is when we team up like this, the coordination goes a long way, man. It just makes it that much better for everybody else. So, and Aaron, I know, MacBF and NVKBA, we've been doing this now for many years, teaming up together for this river. It's a river from our backyard. And, it's always an honor to be in the same waters as you guys. So we definitely appreciate it. Carl, Evan, definitely appreciate you guys coming on board this year. I'm real excited about what y'all are doing. I think you guys got an awesome thing going, man. Just watching the YouTube videos, I'm already jealous. I need to up our game when it comes to that. Was so cool, man. Walking around the boat ramp, giving people donuts, man. That's what this is all about. Seriously, that is what this is all about, dude. And
That's that guy.
that is, dude, that
That
is
guy
what,
right there.
that is what brings all this together, man. So congratulations, shout out to you guys, and I'm real excited to see where y'all take this in the future. And I hope to get up there and fish the Upper Bay because I've never fished on a kayak before.
Are you
And,
serious?
yeah, I'm from Pennsylvania myself.
serious?
So, yeah, bro. I grew up with the Susquehanna in my backyard, and I didn't really get into fishing until like after the military and all that stuff. So I need it's way overdue to get up there.
Well, you know, on May 5th, it made KBF and CRM KBF. We're going to be on the Upper Bay. Come on up there.
Yeah, actually, I am going to be in Pennsylvania that weekend, but that's actually my brother's little bachelor weekend. So he's getting married in May. So unless y'all allow the upper way upper Susquehanna, I don't know how far down I'll make it.
I got you.
But dude, no, it's good. I like I said, I really hope to make it out, and I plan on fishing y'all's this weekend as well. So just gotta get my butt signed up still. So, but yeah, anyway, without further ado, we'll go ahead and kick this thing off. Let me see if I can get these slides up here. I hope it works. From my computer, let's see. I'll upload this file here. Yeah, it doesn't want to work. I think I tried this last time and it was being finicky for me. Present. Here we go. Share screen. There we go. All right, can you guys all see that?
Yep.
How about that? Are we like full screen now? I was really hoping to get you all in the window here too. I should have done a little bit of trial and error before we started this.
Oh, it's fine.
It's all good.
We'll work it out.
All right. Tell you what. I'm gonna try one more thing.
You know, while we're waiting, I think that the launch that was in question was a yacht club, but they let non-members launch.
Oh, really?
Which creek was that?
Aquai Harbor Marina? No, Aquai Harbor Yacht Club.
I wonder is that further up the creek or is that down like closer to the bay?
Buddy, that's on your side of the bridge. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. That one, yeah, I don't know about. I know there's like you got Government Island, right, Aaron? I think it's above. I want to say it's either close to that or above that.
That looks great.
Man, it jacked up.
Yeah, that looks good. Whatever you did is perfect.
Yeah, that's a nice look at that. What do you got? 2024 there. I think what happens is it because not. I guess the program doesn't have my fonts downloaded, so that throws it off. But hey, it's cool. I appreciate y'all.
Close enough.
All right, we'll go ahead and glide through this thing. This will serve as the official captain's meeting for this weekend's events across all three clubs. Definitely appreciate everybody joining in. And those who registered so far, we definitely appreciate it. Don't wait, get signed up. Registration is going to end tomorrow evening. Now, is it midnight for you guys too?
Yes.
What about UCRS?
What about Sunday?
Oh, yeah. So that's the other thing. Like for us, right, for the NVKBA side, we're just doing one day. So I know both of y'all's clubs are doing 2 single days, right?
Our registration for Saturday ends Friday at midnight. Our registration for Sunday ends Saturday at midnight.
Okay.
Same.
Likewise.
Same with us.
For you guys too. Okay, perfect. So Yeah. If like I said, if folks' plans change or things like that, and they, Sunday opens up for you, I definitely highly encourage you to get signed up for the second day and, get some more fishing in. But we'll
For sure.
talk
On a side note for that, I would just like to say too that we're giving away some pretty big prizes with MAKBF at our awards. 100 amp hour bio 12 volt battery and a Boondocks, a groovy console.
Nice.
Console riser. So, but you do have to be signed up for both days.
Both days. Now, is that like a random drawing for anybody who's in both days?
Yep.
Awesome.
It'll be a random drawing if you sign up for both days. On Sunday, we're giving both those prizes away. It'll be a raffle ticket giveaway. We have raffle tickets we'll bring with us to the awards.
And with that said, I'm not going to go through them all right now because there are quite a few, but we could not do this without all the sponsors that support all three clubs. I know we have many that have been with us for many years. A lot of new sponsors who came on board because they believe in what we all do. So we owe them, at the very least, a big thank you. So, and we'll get to all that. We definitely like to try to tag up as much as possible. So you'll see a lot of tags, a lot of things like that throughout the weekend and after the weekend. So it's all about giving back to them because of everything that they do for us, right? All right, so when we'll talk rules overview, a little bit of pre-fishing, eligible waters, hit some safety, and then we'll kind of do a little game day timeline of how the day is going to go, and then we'll open it up to questions at the end. So if you got questions and you don't want to lose your train of thought, definitely type them out in the comments over, in whatever platform you're listening to, and we'll make sure that we get to them. If we don't get to them throughout the meeting, we'll definitely try to hit them all at the end. All right, next slide. Event registration. So we are running multiple tournament management systems this weekend. NVKBA will be using the Fishing Chaos app. And then you guys are both on TourneyX, right?
That's correct.
And CRM. So easy one-stop shop for anybody who's fishing either MAKBF or CRM. Y'all both clubs are on TourneyX. I'm not sure how. I haven't used TourneyX in a little while, but I don't know. Do they have like a feature where
yes,
you can submit one fish and it cross posts?
Yes, it'll ask you when you go to submit fish. When you go to submit fish, it will ask you what tournaments you want to submit it to. So you can submit that same fish to any platform you're fishing. Good.
That's a great capability, and that'll make life easier for a lot of folks. So, no excuses. Get signed up for all clubs. Fishing Chaos, obviously, if you fished with us before, you know how that goes. There is, I don't think I have it on another slide, so we can talk now, Aaron, if you guys want. And then I'm not sure if the CRM guys have this implemented with their club, but we are doing a snakehead side pot. That came in a little bit later in the week. But as far as the NVKBA side of the house goes, we have paired up with Virginia Kayak Anglers Elite. Mr. Joe and the good folks over there are going to be scoring the NVKBA side of the house when it comes to snakeheads. I think right now we have somewhere between 15 and 20 snakehead tickets sold already. So it's just an extra $10. If you already registered for the bass side and you need to go in and you want to go in and add the snakehead side pot, it's pretty easy. You just go back into your tickets and add it that way. That being said, NVKBA is going to be doing it by inches. So you're going to follow the VKAE rule set, which is available on their website. I shared the link in our tournament description. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out. It's pretty similar to measuring a bass. The only major difference is they do allow you to use a lip gripper. Now, there's no restraining device such as a stringer or no hooks in line or anything like that. It has to be an actual fish grip, and you can pin the fish's mouth down and make sure it's touching the bump board, and you measure it that way. If you got a 26-inch board, you're going to run the risk of maybe having one that's over 26 inches. It's just going to count to 26 inches because that's all your board goes up to. If you go over, or if you have a 36-inch, I think it's a 32-inch catch board. And for snakeheads only, we are allowing the tri-fold yak gear fish stick because that is something that VKA allows too. So if you run both boards, that's more than welcome. Just make sure you're not using the fish stick for bass. It's got to be on the catch board for bass. So that's pretty much how it's going to go for NVKBA. It is going to be a harvest optional when it comes to snakehead. If you want to keep it, great. Because what I'll let Aaron talk to now is how they're going to run their snakehead side pot. Go ahead, Aaron.
Our snakehead side pot, if you'd like to get in, send $5 to makbffishing@gmail.com on PayPal. Unfortunately, it came in too late where 20X, once you have registered, you can't go back in and click additional fees. So we did not add that fee. We've already had lots of anglers sign up. So if you're interested in getting into the side pot, you can send $5 to makbffishing@gmail.com on PayPal. If you just want to put in the notes, snakehead side pot. But just to let everybody know how our side pot is going to work. Our side pot is going to be a harvest for consumption. In other words, you have to bring your snakehead deceased back to the awards, and it will be done by weight. Our weight will be all on the same scale. Josh Evans and Trey Leach from the MAKBF Leadership Group will be helping out with getting those weights in once you bring them back. If you're not interested in keeping the snakehead for consumption, there are people that are going to be at the awards that will be interested in keeping the snakehead for consumption. That's how we're running our snakehead side pot. We're interested in getting snakehead's a great fish to eat. We do love eating. Some people like to catch and release. So you can decide whether you'd like to get into that side pot or not. It's $5 to makbffishing@gmail.com through PayPal. You're going to bring your snakehead back. Like I said, both of our days are Saturday and Sunday. They're 2 single-day events, so both events will be eligible for that snakehead side pot individually. So if you want to fish both days, it would be $10, obviously. So that's how we're going to do it, by weight at the awards. For keep for consumption is our goal there.
Good deal. They are tasty morsels.
They are tasty morsels.
CRM, gentlemen, have anything to add? Anything differing here? Or anything you'd like to include as far as like event registration and things like that go?
We don't have a side pot for snakeheads. We're so new. This is our second and third tournament, so we're just going to keep it simple. We're just going to keep it to bass. We're just going to try to execute that.
You're doing good things, man. You're doing good things.
For sure. For sure. Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we will be interested bystanders watching how you guys run it down, though, and learning. So
that's what we're all here for, man. And we'll be learning from you guys as well, especially like I was telling y'all before we got on, man. We need to start upping our vlogging game, man. That's some good stuff. I love it.
Appreciate that.
All right, cool. So that's Talks event registration. Moving on here. So this is just something that I kept on here as far as the rules go. No need to read this whole thing. I mean, our anglers on the NVKBA side kind of know how we run it. But if there's anything, I think we're all KBF partner clubs, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So I'm sure, we all follow the KBF rules mostly to a T. There are some.
The only thing I know that we do different is we allow tail pinching. So
you do allow tail pinching. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind because NVKBA does not allow tail pinching.
That's correct.
If you are going to fish, make sure you guys, and I'm sure you guys have that posted somewhere or anything like that, like on y'all's website.
Absolutely. Yeah. Our rules are posted on 20X too as well. When you signed up, you have to click to register liability form and the rules. So it's absolutely in the rules. It's on our website. Feel free to go there, makbf.com. We do allow tail pinching. I'm pretty sure that's really the biggest difference between the both. But my suggestion would be in this 3-club format to try to take a picture. Once you take a picture with your hand on it, try to take a picture without your hand on the fish at all. And that way you're free and clear. You don't have any issues with any club in that case. So that would be my suggestion. Pinch the tail, do what you got to do for MAKBF and CRM, but make sure that if you're submitting fish on the Fishing Chaos, that you're on the other side of that butthole. Yep, exactly. No, that's a good point too. Like I said, we're doing this and we're trying to have as many commonalities as we can, but there are some things that are going to still be different, you guys. So
So make sure that you're reading each club's rules, go through them and just look at differences and things like that. And if you do have a question, please, bring it up to the leadership between CRM, MAKBF, and NVKBA, because we don't want to have any surprises or have you be surprised because you didn't, clarify it up front. And another thing, like Aaron and I were talking before we started, they allow the tail pinching. NVKBA doesn't. One thing NVKBA does allow that MAKBF doesn't. I'm not sure about CRM. You guys could chime in here as well, but we do allow wade fishing. You are allowed to get out of your kayak. Now, you're still not allowed to portage and things like that when it comes to trying to get over obstacles. You got to be able to, float your kayak. But if you're on the bank and fishing, or if, you're fishing a bank and you want to park and get off and stretch your legs and fish, we do allow you to do that. So just another thing to keep in mind. If somebody sees you out there and calls you out, you better just be fishing the NVKBA event. Otherwise, you could get DQ'd or at least a penalty or something like that. So just keep in mind those things. CRM, do you guys have anything kind of outstanding that, may differ from the rules, I guess general rules, things like that?
They run the same rules that we run almost exactly. So
okay.
Yeah, they're on our website as well. Download section. You can put them
okay, perfect. Sounds good. All right. Like I said, if anybody has any questions, just reach out. That's the best thing. No question is a dumb question.
100%. My phone number's on any of the tournaments on TourneyX for MAKBF. Feel free to text me. I'll probably call you back because I'm not a great phone typer. So that or send us an email. Either way, just don't be scared to call. I don't have any trouble answering questions. We do have a lot of new members, a lot of new people that do kayak fishing, which we're super excited about. So feel free to call anytime.
And it's a good problem, like when we say we have new guys and gals coming on board. That's what we want, don't be discouraged because, you mess up, because it's going to happen. I mean, we all make mistakes even to this day, and we've been doing this for years. So things happen, you make mistakes, you just learn from them and you grow from it. So don't take anything personally. We're all here together. We're all here to have a good time and to be competitive. All right. Pre-fishing. I think we're all on the same page with pre-fishing, right? Cut off 4 p.m. tomorrow.
Yep, that's fine. Our rules actually say 6 p.m., but if you're triple dipping, you got to be up to by 4. So 4 o'clock is fine with us.
That makes sense. Obviously, no professional guides. I think the rule for KBF is like within 21 days. So nobody should be out there.
Ours is all
guides. Yeah. And then launching early. I think for this event across the board, we're doing a 5:45 launch.
That's correct. Now you can put your water your water. You can put your kayak in the water.
Yep. And
as long as you're close to the ramp there, and when I say close, I mean yards. Within 20 yards of the boat ramp, just to get out of the way, so that other people can launch too, so that the ramp doesn't congest up. We do allow that prior to 5:45, but you can't leave the general vicinity of the ramp until 5:45.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. And let me see here. It might be on the next slide. We'll talk eligible waters next. But yeah, I have kind of like a game day lineup, and then we'll go through, talk a little bit of like ramp etiquette and stuff like that as well. I think that was it as far as launching early goes. And yeah, no use in professional guys. There's just some reminders. There are other rules, obviously, when it comes to pre-fishing. And like you said, if you are out there, as far as the launch time goes, like there's obviously no pre-fishing or no fishing in general until 6:15. So you shouldn't be out there conducting pre-fishing activities, right? Like graphing, scouting, testing baits, stuff like that. And like I said, we'll hit on that here shortly, but just kind of a quick reminder. All right, eligible waters. I know this is a little bit small. Hopefully y'all can still see the majority of it. Guys, don't fish the res, please. I've had that happen in years past where and it was really mostly like KBF guys because they had no clue about the area, so they thought the res was part of the Potomac. But by and large, we don't really have too much of an issue. And I don't know if you can see it, but the res is that little circle with the line up to the top left, the Alcorn Reservoir right there above Lake Ridge. Now the Occoquan River in Woodbridge, Lorton area, that is legal water because it's tidal. You just can't go up past the dam up at the top of the river, which it's physically impossible to get up that way, but you can definitely fish around the rocks and things like that. So anyway, we're using the upper boundary is the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. So you can technically go up into Cameron Run. Those of you who like to fish 4 Mile Run, that's a little bit further up, so that's definitely off limits. Just remember, Cameron Run, Blue Plains is obviously off limits. It's everything Woodrow Wilson and south. Off to the west bank there, the Virginia side, you'll see another crossed out area that is Chapawamsic on Quantico Marine Corps Base. That is off limits as well because you cannot access that creek from the main river. So just know that we do allow launching on military installations as long as you have all the credentials to do so, like Quantico Creek, Fort Belvoir. I'm sure there's some other ones around that I'm not aware of, but we do allow those because you can access all that water from the main river. You can get to the Belvoir water from Pohick. You can get to Quantico Creek. If you go down, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you go down from Leesylvania and places like that. But as far as like launching into Chapawamsic from the Russell Road on main base, you can't do that because you can't access it from the main river.
I just would like to touch on that for 1 second there about the marine base. The reason that's an acceptable launch is because anybody can file for a permit there to launch your boat there. It's not restricted to only military personnel. You do have to fill out some paperwork. You have to do some things, but it is eligible to everybody if you took the time to research it and get your permit for there.
Yep, 100%.
Is it too late as far as like the timing of it to do it?
I would say probably. I don't know how long it takes to get the permit. I can't speak to that.
It doesn't take long. You need to go to if you're doing it on Quantico, you need to go to the visitor center with a couple forms of ID, and they'll more than likely just give you like a day pass. They may even give you an annual pass, but if you want to do that, then you have to get an ID card, which I think you can do in a day. I don't think it's that crazy. It was a little more difficult like during COVID and stuff, but I think now they have it pretty streamlined. And then the only other thing you have to do is buy the annual fishing permit. The base permit's like $10 a year, and then you can launch wherever you want. Either on Chapawamsic is still off limits, even though
because it's not accessible.
But Quantico Creek, they call it the Hospital Point ramp. That's definitely eligible, and the same goes for Fort Belvoir. If you line up with their visitor center, if you take the day tomorrow and figure that out, you're more than welcome to do that. And then, Aaron, are you familiar with any off limits bodies of water on the Maryland side that they need to know?
I'm not. I can't think of any right now. As long as there's not really any launches, but I do want to touch to the fact that if it's not a public launch, in other words, it's a private launch, but you made a deal with the owner to pay money and launch there, that's not public. That's a deal made with the owner, or the marina or the yacht club or whatever the situation may be. Unless they allow everyone to launch there without calling prior and setting up a schedule and a price and all of that, there needs to be a set price. There doesn't have to be a deal made. It's only if everyone can launch there for a specific fee or for free or however they run it. But there's that, and then and there was one other thing I was going to say too, but now I don't remember. That's the launches that I made. The launch thing that I wanted to touch on mostly. Tides and launches.
Yes.
If you can launch from a launch and it's a public launch, and let's just say it's high tide when you launched in the morning. If you can't get back to that launch, when it's low tide, you have to take out at a launch, and you can't portage. So you have to figure out either transportation back to your launch or whatever, but that's angler responsibility to figure out, if I launch here, am I going to be able to make it back here? And if I can't, then what time do I need to be back to the launch to be off the water safely and not have to portage? Some of these creeks get pretty shallow when the tide goes out. So just keep that in mind when you're launching. Make sure you did your homework before you came. It's a daily free uses or a common rule for anyone can launch. Exactly. Take necessary. Then it's public. 100% what Jake Harshman said. That's sort of what I said, but that's what I wanted to touch on. Make sure you're doing your homework. Make sure that you can get in and out from your launch at all tides. Or if you can't get in and out at all tides, make sure that you have transportation to come out at a low tide somewhere else and make it back to your vehicle. So those are the things I wanted to touch on.
Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, looking through some of the comments here. Yeah, Brandon Humbertson. I don't know if you guys saw that when I had it up. He said the one at the back of Aquia is private as well. Yeah, I think we talked about that one, right, Aaron?
Yeah,
if it's private, then yeah, it's not allowed unless they're letting.
If it's private, it's not allowed. Like I said, if you made an arrangement and they were like, well, you can come test out this ramp with the assumption that you may become a member, that's not a public launch.
Right.
What about if they have on their website, we accept non-members as well as members?
I would say as long as they'll let anybody launch from their boat ramp, it's a public launch.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, I didn't know how to call that particular Aquia Harbor Yacht Club, because I read the website and it does say plain as day. You know, you can roll up there and launch. They got kayak launches and all that, so you can just pay a fee.
Yeah, but and then it's public. As long as they allow everyone on a daily basis to launch from that launch, whether you had to pay a fee or you didn't have to pay a fee, then it's a public launch.
Yep. Like I said, if anybody has questions, definitely reach out. We'll try to do a little bit of research on our end if folks don't know. But at the end of the day, it's angler responsibility.
Absolutely. That's what I was about to say. At the end of the day, it's your responsibility. And if it's questionable, don't launch there. Find somewhere else to launch.
Don't risk it.
If it's so questionable that you're not sure, then it's probably not a good idea you launch there. That's how I would put that.
Yep. Easy. All right. Safety. Let's hit on this a little bit. We got some questions too about some ID cards and stuff, so we'll make sure we get to that. Goes without saying, but we say it every time. PFD and a whistle. Coast Guard law. So make sure you have it. Make sure you're wearing it at all times. If you've got to change an article of clothing, obviously that's understandable. If you need to get out, use the restroom, situations like that. But if you're fishing, competing, have a line in the water, that vest needs to be on.
And I would like to point, it needs to be the outside layer too. The problem is if you have it underneath your rain jacket or something like that, and then we get phone calls and there's no way to prove that you had it on or didn't have it on. So if you need to put a rain jacket on or a sweatshirt or whatever the situation was, make sure that your PFD is your outside layer.
Yep. Very good point. Because I've seen that happen before. And we don't like to, we don't want to have to make because we, like you said, we can't prove it. So we got to go with the worst, the worst, what's the word I'm looking for? Worst scenario, basically.
Harshest punishment, really, but that's
because it's a clear rule. You got to be wearing it. We have to know you're wearing it. And no throwing it on unzipped. Make sure it's zipped up. All right. Energy and hydration. Make sure you're bringing snacks. Bring a lunch if you have if you need to eat. I think we all need to eat. So make sure you're hydrated and well nourished for the day. And if you don't drink enough water, start drinking water now and just start loading up. Get some carbs in you, all that good stuff. Unless you're like me and trying to cut back on the carbs. then make sure you get enough fats and proteins. But yeah, definitely stay energized, stay hydrated, get a good night's sleep, guys. I know it's very hard when you're out there, or when you're coming up on tournament day. It's very difficult to sleep, but try to get a good night's sleep if you can, because it's going to pay off in the long run. You're going to need your 8 hours to fish 8-9 hours. So visibility, definitely but I mean, it's a good idea to wear bright clothes if you, especially out on the river like this, with a lot of motorboats and things like that. Just be visible. Have your flag. Flag's not mandatory for us, but what is mandatory, it's highly recommended to have a flag, but it's not mandatory. But what is mandatory is the 360-degree light when you're launching in the darkness. And then, if you're running nav lights, great. That's another thing, we don't need to get into right now, but there's kind of like mixed, at least for the Virginia side, there's like mixed opinions on whether nav lights are used on kayaks or not. But I run them. I was kind of against them for a while, but I run them just because most of us do have motors. And I think other states, it's a law. So you just got to, why not why run the risk of getting a citation or something like that? Just, be visible. It's going to help you out. Hopefully avoid a sketchy situation. Anything to add there, Aaron?
Nope.
Carl?
Everything you said is exactly how I feel about it. Make sure that, and we kind of touched on this on the beginning when Evan mentioned about the other boat tournaments that are going on here. You want to be seen. Those guys are coming in hot, and if it means you having to get out of their way, it's going to be way harder for you than it is going to be for them. But if they see you, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, and if you're fishing Quiet Creek, we were there last weekend, and if you're fishing that in a kayak, stay away from those buoys, stay away from those pylons with the signs out in the middle of the the creek there, because that's a highway for boats, and a lot of it is a no wake zone, or some of it's a no wake zone, but a lot of it isn't. So recommend just staying closer to the banks in those areas.
Try to stay out of the boat lanes. That's definitely a big part of it.
Yep.
Yeah, the navigation light thing, I got pulled over, and I had a cop or DNR officer tell me that when you have the navigation lights on a kayak, you're telling the other motorboaters that you're a regular boat, so they don't have to slow down and they can wake you.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of
wake you.
Exactly. That's where a lot of the kind of the headbutting comes in, because some people say, "Oh, it's a law and it's in the, what is it, the Coast Guard laws or whatever." But it doesn't get down into the weeds as far as like, what's considered a vessel versus a PWC, or a sailboat less than 20 feet or whatever. Like, it's just unclear. And I was always under the same thing. That's what I was told by other other people and folks, but I've also been told the opposite. So it's just, like I said, it's not something we require for our tournaments. The only thing we require is a 360-degree light, because that's one thing we do know lets other boaters know that you are a stationary object. So
yeah, I run them. I believe the more visibility, the better.
Yeah, and like I said, I run them now too.
I run them. I also run them. I'm with you guys. It's visibility to me is better, and most of the time I'm throwing a fluke in the weeds anyway. So
a lot of our kayaks, you're going to see them both at the same time, regardless, because they're just such a little front end.
Right. Correct.
You're going to see them both lit up. It's going to look, I don't know, purple to everybody. But no, that's good. Let's see. All right, let's keep going here. We talked visibility, weather considerations. I think we're looking at a pretty good weekend. And last I checked, I think it was like yesterday, but wind was looking pretty good. Weather's looking decent, at least for Saturday. Let me go ahead and pull that up really quick, just out of curiosity. Sunday's looking like a little bit of overcast, but I'm not seeing any precipitation really throughout the weekend. It's looking pretty clear. We are going to have a temperature drop from Saturday into Sunday. Not so much the low, but the high on Saturday is going to be 73 right now, and Saturday is going to drop 10 degrees. So I don't think it's enough to really mess with the fish too much. But as a slight little minor, I guess, cold front, you could call it.
That's a nice catch on this photo right here. Whoever that is that 4 Mile Run?
Where are we at? Sorry. It looks like it.
On just a little touch on that weather, the Potomac can get gnarly in the wind. So even a little bit of wind compared to other places, it can make a difference. So just know your ability, understand your level of boating, understand where you're at, and take every precaution necessary. That's what I'd like to say as far as the wind goes.
I know it was rough last week, and I fished with the VKAE, and my motor died I was trying to make a run down, to the mouth of Aquia, and I'm glad I only made it halfway. I'll tell you that, because it was rough.
I got a story about that. The first time I ever fished Aquia, I was in a paddle kayak, the original Jackson Coosa, and the wind was whipping all day long, and
that's a good
I spent 7.5 hours paddling and a half an hour fishing, just because unfortunately, if you're paddling, you can't be fishing, and it was a tough. That was, I think, my first year fishing with MAKBF, and it was pretty wicked.
And guys and gals, bring a full spare paddle, or just bring a full paddle with you. Don't just bring a half paddle. I know you got motors and pedals and all that good stuff, but you never know what can happen. I recommend it. Even if you got to break it down, throw it in your hull, just have it with you. The full paddle. Yeah. If I didn't have it last weekend, I would have been up what creek. Yeah. Okay. So weather, check in, check out. I think we're all kind of doing the same. I mean, you guys on Tourney X, does Tourney X have a check in, check out feature still?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. So I'm assuming you guys are all doing that as well, Carl.
Yep. And with Tourney X, you'll get a push notification at launch time to make sure that you have checked in.
Excellent. Yeah, and the same thing goes with Fishing Chaos. It'll be on the water button. So you hit that, and then you hit it. If you don't hit it, and I don't see that you checked out after the tournament's over, I'll try giving you all a call, make sure everybody's safe, because it's really just for safety purposes.
100%.
It's definitely important. With safety in mind, help others in need. I know this is a tournament. I know we're out there fishing competitively, but if you see somebody that's struggling, see somebody that needs to get out of an unsafe situation, help them out. Stop what you're doing and just help. Lend a helping hand, because at the end of the day, yes, it's a competition, but we're out here to support each other and do the right thing, because we all want to be able to fish another day, right?
Yeah, I have a story with that, Mike.
Go for it.
It was 2 years ago in a KBF event with MAKBF. I was in a paddle kayak, the kayak I have now, and the wind was whipping, and I was fishing near the mouth of the creek, and it got to the point where I was paddling and I was not going anywhere. So it was an MAKBF member who had a pedal kayak, and actually I threw some paracord at him, and he actually pedaled me in to safety. So as a testament of looking out for each other, I'm grateful. Yep. I don't even remember the guy's name. I think he cashed a check too. So, good for him. But
that's awesome.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah, that's definitely something that obviously in the rules it says don't pull each other to your spots and things like that. But when it comes to safety, I don't care about rules. I want you to be safe. So
I agree 100%. If it comes to safety, 100%. If you need to mothership somebody, yes, mothership them. All I'm asking is that when you get to safety, shoot me a text or a phone call and let me know what happened.
Yep.
That way I know what the situation was.
Yeah, and if somebody tries to rat somebody out, we know why.
Right, exactly.
I'm not saying somebody would do that. Just you want to make sure you cover your butt, because at the end of the day, there are rules, and if we do have to make an exception, we'll make sure we go about it the right way.
Yeah, no,
just integrity, right? That's what we operate on. No rule is, we have rules, but at the end of the day, we rely on angler integrity for a lot of it. All right, and then emergencies, right? If there is an emergency on the water that involves, loss of life, limb, eyesight, whatever it is, don't call me. Call 911. right? I'm not emergency personnel. We have some emergency personnel in the club, but when it comes to, a situation that is not good, call the enforcement on that. That's pretty much all I can say on that. And if it's a non-threatening emergency, then you can start reaching out to the directors and things like that. But yeah, I know a lot of it seems common sense, but when you get put into situations that are scary, a lot of times it's hard to think logically, right? It's hard to think rationally sometimes. So just make that phone call, whether you really need it or not. It's that's really all I can say on that. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add.
I think you did a great job. That's exactly perfect.
All right, sweet. All right, we're coming up. It's about 8:50 now. We don't want to take a ton of folks' time, but I think we're coming close to the end here. So here we are, game day timeline. All right, we talked a little bit about launching. You can launch I say launch, but you can get into the water before 5:45. Just stay a couple boat lengths away from the ramp. You don't go far. Don't wander. Don't drift halfway out onto the bay thinking that you're going to get a head start because somebody will call you out for it. But yes, 5:45 is your actual launch time to where you can go to your spot. Like I said before, no pre-fishing, no scouting, no pre-fishing activities, graphing, testing lures, all that good stuff needs to not happen until 6:15. Right? 6:15 is our lines in. Check in, check out. We already talked about that. Lines wet is 6:15, and then we're going to 2:30, right, boys?
Correct.
In the afternoon, 2:30 lines in, so you get an extra 15 minutes. We are rocking, like we said, we're going to be doing it's largemouth bass, smallmouth if you do happen to find one. I don't know if you will or not, but I know they're in there. I just don't know where. Maybe not that far down, but I know for a fact, they're coming in from up north too. So, and then we talked snakehead, right? Like we got the snakehead side pot for MAKBF and NVKBA. 12-inch minimum, 5 fish, right, for all clubs.
Yep.
Correct.
And then like we talked about launch with launch etiquette, I want to hit on this too. Make sure if you're launching with a trailer, get rigged up before you take your boat down to the ramp and either wet launch it or pull it off your trailer and get it off to the side as quick as you can. Don't be spending 5, 10, 15 minutes on the boat ramp loading all your stuff up because it's delaying the process. Boat ramp shouldn't take you more than a couple of minutes. And then you get off to the side and move your truck or your trailer or whatever you're using. If you are car topping and if you don't have a set, I recommend you going out and finding a set before Saturday, get a set of wheels. If you don't have a set of wheels and you coordinate with a buddy, or if you see somebody struggling with their kayak, help them out and let them borrow your wheels. If you have the removable kind of wheels, like a Wildy cart or a Sea Tug or something like that, help each other out at the ramps, guys. We want to be efficient and in the water and ready to go. Kind of in a timely manner. We don't want congestion, but the same goes for recovery, right? If you recover, give a guy some space, get his kayak loaded up and wheeled out and off the ramp. If somebody needs to go use their trailer, if they're wet launching, give them space. Make sure you have I always try to leave at least, and especially if it's like a 2-lane, 3-lane boat ramp like Occoquan, there's plenty of room there, but you don't want to take advantage of that. Make sure you got room for boats and stuff like that as well. We don't want to be, there used to be kind of a bad rap when it came to kayak anglers, and boaters trying to get into the river. And we don't want to be, those guys. We want to get in and out of the water as quickly and efficiently as possible. If you are running a trailer, make sure you got good trailer parking. Don't be taking up, a single spot with a trailer and just creating chaos in a parking lot. We've seen it all. And we are getting better as a community. Nobody's perfect. Some ramps are going to be busy. Some might not be busy at all. So, I don't know. I probably beat that one pretty good. If you guys have stuff to add, please do.
Nope. Everything you said, get your boat ready before you put it in the water so you're not down there loading everything up. And same thing when you're coming out. Just get your wheels, pull it up to your vehicle, or grab your trailer and put it on, and then unload it when you get back to your parking spot. You did a great job, and I agree 100%. Getting in and out of there and making it enjoyable for everybody is part of the game.
And like I said, just offer help, man. Offer to help each
For sure.
other. Two guys lifting the kayak is a hell of a lot easier than one. So yeah, that's what we got. And then awards, we're already tracking. You guys are doing awards at Port Tobacco, right? You want to talk about that?
Sure. We're doing both us and CRM are doing awards at Port Tobacco. They'll be at 4:00 for MAKBF. If you are a member and you're getting Angler of the Year points, you do have to be at the awards. We encourage everybody to be at the awards. We're giving away some decent prizes, and we would love to see everybody there. We've had big discussions about this in the leadership group when COVID came, and we kind of got away from the community of kayak fishing, and that's a big reason I got into this. So we're trying to get back to that. We do know that MVKBA is going to be doing their awards on the Virginia side, but they're working with us so that if you're a MAKBF member and you're going for Angler of the Year points, I think they're encouraging you to come over to our awards. We're excited to have this. We really try to put it as close to the 301 bridge as possible so that people from both sides didn't have to go too far. Unfortunately, that area, it's just far to get to either side of it. So it doesn't matter if you're on the Maryland side or the Virginia side. It's an hour to an hour and a half run, no matter what. It's been like that ever since we've been running tournaments over there, not to mention the DC traffic. So.
Oh, yeah. You guys are running those. What time does your award start?
4:00.
It's 4,
We're doing 2:30 lines out. 3:00 is our final photo submission, and 4:00 is our awards.
Okay, cool. Good stuff. And yeah, like you said, we'll be the NVKBA awards will be running over here at Barley Naked in Stafford. We've been there in the past, and they've been very good to us. They're going to welcome us again. But like I said, and like Aaron said, the MAKBF side, they have some great sponsor deals lined up for their awards. So make sure you go support them if you're fishing their tournament. Please go get your points. And it'll be a great time. Whichever one you go to, we're gonna have a good time at these awards. And
that's for sure.
Or just like I said, we're glad that we anglers have options. For sure. And then yes, you said Carl, you guys are doing them there as well, right? Over at the Port Tobacco.
Look, we're just going to keep it real 100. We don't have a lot of prizes to give away, but we do have some snacks.
Hey,
and we love snacks. Yeah, I would come for snacks. You can keep your prizes.
Exactly. Ask any tournament angler if they want snacks or a lure after they're done fishing. I guarantee you they're going to say snacks.
But Evan is cooking up something literally for some of the guys.
Yeah, so I'm building jigs. So the fluid beds are finalized, and I'll be tying them tomorrow night. So you guys are getting my Potomac River special. I don't have cool names like Joshua Evans, like the Hurt Locker. I'm going to work on stuff like that. But I like to get jiggy with it. It's my favorite lure to catch them on, even on grass fishery. So, yeah, come to awards and you'll get some free jigs from CRM.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, Nick Mayer said we'll fish for snacks and lures.
For sure. More for snacks. I love a good snack.
I could not. They were raving about those chocolate wafers. I can't find them. They're gone. The place that I bought them from, they sold out. So, yeah, I'll figure something out.
It's like a first tournament exclusive.
Yeah, that's right. You had to fish their first tournament ever, and then you got the delicious chocolate wafer.
That's awesome. Well, I think that's about it. Yeah, we were at the question slide, so I'm going to go through here and start looking at some of the questions that have been coming through. I appreciate you guys sticking with us to the end. Again, this will be up. This will be posted on the NVKBA YouTube page. We'll make sure we share that out to all the clubs. If you don't already have the link, I know most of y'all do because you're here. Yeah, make sure if you don't watch it live, make sure you're watching this at some point before the tournament on Saturday to get your block checked.
And don't be scared to share it either, guys. So
please.
that everybody gets an opportunity to check in, make sure that they're doing what's right. Because and unfortunately, we've had this discussion at the beginning of this year about the kayak tournament side in general, and some of the different rules and different formats and differences. And it's nice to have, when three clubs can get together, to have almost all of the same rules. So it's
sure.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is a testament to all the hard work that y'all put in, and we all put into this kind of stuff. It's grown and it's fruitful, and we're all benefiting from it. I say that not as benefiting as clubs, but just benefiting as anglers, to have such an amazing community build up here in the Mid-Atlantic region. It's just incredible, and it's only going to get better. We have the right people in the right places, that's for sure.
Agreed.
Yep. Let's see here. And again, like I said earlier, couldn't do it without the amazing sponsors that we have.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. That's the sponsors and the anglers. To be 100% honest, guys, without the anglers, we don't have a club, and without the sponsors, we don't have a club. So we cannot thank everyone enough for making all of our successes. That's for sure. We're just humbled to be a part of it. At least I am.
Yeah, I sort of feel the same way. I know Evan does too. We're just feeding off the energy that we're getting from the club, the guys. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. And then you're right. The sponsors and the club members, that's what makes the club. That's what makes everything go.
Right. I can leave. Look, 100% honest. If I wasn't here tomorrow, it's not going to stop MAKBF, because they have great anglers and great supporting sponsors. So,
100%. Let's see here. One identifier. We talked about that, right? We're all going to be on the same identifier for day one, or not the same, but we're allowing all three clubs identifiers.
Sure.
Which for
correct.
us,
Whatever club you fish, your identifier will be accepted by the other clubs, and we're all going to have the same number too. Same identifier number to fill in on your club identifier. So,
and that'll get released tomorrow evening around 9 p.m.
That's correct.
And it has your identifier, whatever that code is, it can't be written on your hand or anything like that. It has to be on the identifier, right?
Yep.
Correct. It's got to be on one of our three identifiers. Correct.
And then I know, at least for the NVKBA side, I mean, I'm sure you guys do the same thing because it's a KBF rule, but no longer can the card lay on the fish when you're measuring it. It's got to be off to the side or whatever. If you are doing it off to the right of your board, make sure we can see a couple inches past the tail. We don't want to just see the tail and then a couple lines and then the card. And it's good to be able to see that, like, 17 mark, 18 mark, 19 mark, and then your card. So don't be afraid to get up high and wide with your photo, because we have the ability on our app, on our tournament manager, just to zoom in really far. So don't think you're doing us a favor by getting in real close. Just make sure you get a good high shot. That way we get, everything.
I like to say that if you're going to put your identifier on the board and you're next to the fish, just make sure that the next number shows. It's easiest for us as judges to be able to look at it, and I can say, okay, he's got an 18, so this is a 17, and I can see the 18, 17 and a half. But if your identifier is covering that 18, now I have to search on the top of your catch board and figure out where you're at. It makes it a little more difficult. So just my suggestion is to make sure you can see the next whole number if you put your identifier on the board next to your fish.
Yeah, for sure.
And make sure the fish's mouth is closed. I know we said it a million times. And if you can't get the fish's mouth to close because the jaw is broken or whatever, take a video and send it to us, any of the tournament directors, so we know what's going on. We can see, okay, the fish is, hurt. He's not. Just do that, and you'll be all right.
Right, and if it doesn't close, it doesn't close. It's just the way it is.
That's how our rules read too. If it's a deformed fish, and you can't get the mouth closed, then you still get a deduction. It's unfortunate, but
Right.
it's
better than no fish.
Right. It's better than no fish, but you're still, if you can't get the mouth closed, and I always suggest this too, not trying to get too deep into the rules details. I want to make sure that the anglers are reading what needs to be done, but I always measure my fish with the bump board down and the front of the board and kind of at an angle so that the fish is forced to close his mouth.
It helps the equilibrium of the fish. I don't know if I've always had better success doing that too. Definitely.
Fellas, I noticed we were getting some questions about where identifier codes were located. I'm not sure if you're going there, Mike, but
as far as
the identifier code for us we will make a post on Facebook for MAKBF, and it will be on Tourney X under identifier. It'll have a picture of our identifier with the code in the identifier.
Solid.
Yeah, and ours are just we just use the KBF identifier, the blank sheet. It's got like 8 of them on one sheet. They're all blank. It's on our website under the rules library or under the document library. Print you off a sheet of those if you're using ours. Otherwise, like I said, either identifier is going to work for on Saturday. And I'm assuming Sunday for you guys, even though we're not going to be on the Sunday docket.
Yes, that's correct. But we'll still take the KBF identifier on Sunday too, because some of your guys have double dipped. You know what I mean? So
right.
And want to fish both days. For fishing chaos, you have the same type of thing where it says identifier, right? Where you can click in it.
Yeah, matter of fact,
the identifier number
when the identifier is released on Chaos, you're going to see it right there when you open up the page. It's going to be live and active. It'll say ID code ready. It'll say ID code ready, and then you click on it, or it's already going to be up and visible. And you'll get an email too. We get an email. We'll probably post it up on the group as well.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing. You won't get an email, but it'll be on social media, and it'll be, like I said, under the Tourney X app and or website. If you push identifier, it's one of the tiles. It'll bring it up. I'll have it loaded up for tomorrow.
Cool.
Same here. Yeah, we'll have it up on Tourney X and on our Facebook page.
Excellent. Brandon Humberts has said, are there going to be awards each day? I'm assuming so for you guys. Right?
For MAKBF, there will be, yes. Saturday at 4 and Sunday at 4.
Excellent. Let's see. Yeah, we already talked boat ramps, private marinas, all that good stuff. So I can pre-fish in my boat above the bridge tomorrow. I don't have a rule against pre-fishing in a different vessel. The KBF
we do, but if you're above the bridge, it's outside of our fishing area. So
right.
That would be fine.
Yeah.
I bet that was Brandon asking that.
It was. Let's see. I think it's about it, guys. I don't see anything standing out here that we didn't already talk about.
Well, it sounds good. Again, guys, if you have any questions, please, number one, please share this out so that all of the anglers have an opportunity to know any of the rule intricacies, differences between us. That's number one. Number two, if you have any questions, feel free to message us on Messenger. You can text me, you can call me. Same thing, I'm sure, goes for Carl. So,
Brandon asked. He asked, what was the PayPal again for the snakehead for y'all snakehead side pot?
MAKBF fishing with 2 F's, so it'd be makbffishing@gmail.com. That's the PayPal account.
Okay, awesome. And then in NVKBA, no, you don't need to be present at our awards for points. We would like you to be, but again, please, if you're in the area and you can make it in time, get over there to MacBF Awards so that you can get your points. We're definitely encouraging that. Yeah, we talked about codes, cards, all that good stuff. Yeah, gentlemen, I think we are good to go. If there's more questions, please hit us up. I'll be available, between now and the tournament, and I'll be out there on the water as well fishing. So I'm looking forward to. This is a long time coming. I know you guys. I think CRM y'all had your opener, but this is technically your opener, right, Aaron?
Yep, it sure is. Yeah, we had to cancel our first event. Big news coming on that one too. Coming.
Nice. Looking forward to it. Good stuff. Well, I appreciate you, gentlemen. Hope you all have a great evening, and best of luck to everybody fishing this weekend.
Good luck, everybody. Thanks for having us on, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.